Brian Michael Bendis and Ram V continue their adventures as the Justice League reunite to take down Brutus, and the Justice League Dark fight their way through the Library of Babel to find out what Merlin is up to. Brian Michael Bendis wonderfully continues his multiversal storyline here with an action-heavy issue that introduces Hippolyta onto the team in a really fantastic way. I thoroughly enjoyed Hippolyta's talk with Flash, which takes up a bit of the first part of the issue, with her feeling lost in a world not her own and how it overwhelms her, wondering how her daughter managed to do it all these years. It's a great parallel to the League's own journey throughout this story into an unknown world. More of Naomi's story and origin is beginning to be revealed here as well, especially with the cliffhanger ending of the issue. I enjoyed how much Black Adam has become a mentor of sorts for the young woman. It's a unique pairing and one that I hope to see continue outside of this series. The only downside I had with this story was Aquaman's side of the story, since it felt like I was missing a page. He awakens in the care of a family and there is an explosion, and then he just somehow turns up in a tank. There was absolutely something missing from that story, and it just felt like they needed to rush him along in that part of the story to get him with the League and into the main story to keep moving. Ram V continues his Merlin storyline and takes a moment in the story to start beginning to address why Zatanna's magic is failing her, and the team starting to notice. I'm intrigued to learn more a bit about that, and it's cool to see that John and Jason are sort of butting heads regarding it. Ram also gets wonderfully meta in the library since every book ever written is in there, which means Ram V's own Justice League Dark series is as well, which Rory finds and reads much to his confusion. It's a fun little piece of humor for a book that has been kind of serious this whole time. David Marquez and Zermanico continue the book's stunning artwork, and much like last issue, David provides some beautiful looking 2-page action spreads, showcasing the destroyed world Naomi is from, as well as the violent battle with Brutus, with more anime-inspired action like casting the villain off into space so he ends in a twinkle, which actually happens twice in this issue. Zermanico also continues his lovely looking fantasy artwork with more cool looks inside this massive magical library, as well as his take on Atlantis, which is teased there at the end. Justice League issue 62 was another fun installment of the book, furthering the two stories inside very well with some great character moments and awesome action adventure. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. Justice League issue 62 finds Hippolyta arriving at the Hall of Justice, walking through all of the tourists and people and coming upon the statue of her daughter, listening to the recording talking about the formation of the Justice League. Soon Flash finds her, wondering what brought her there. Hippolyta says that she's looking for the Justice League, but Flash says they're on a mission, wondering what the emergency is. Hippolyta says that earlier she acted poorly in their presence and wanted to apologize to the group since they deserve better. She wanted to tell them all in person, but Flash says that if it makes her feel better, he hasn't given it a second thought. Realizing that sounded rude, so he shows her that he's been preoccupied with a mission, waiting for the team's return signal. Hippolyta wishes to speak frankly, saying that she's frustrated since she still doesn't understand how this world is, and how any of it works, since it moves so fast around her, and it all seems like lunacy. Flash says that they all don't have it figured out either, but Hippolyta says that she carried this for so long, and doesn't know how any of this is making her an effective leader, knowing that she sent Diana to find deeper understanding of the world and she found it, but Hippolyta hasn't. Flash says that she's welcome there any time, but Hippolyta knows that she can't impose that on them, wanting to make a change in how she sees the world. Flash knows that Green Arrow was just talking about perspective and the perspective of the team, making it out like it's a prison through which they see all of the world through, and how they can as a group lose focus sometimes. Suddenly Flash realizes he did it wrong, heading back down to the lab with Hippolyta, telling her that he miscalculated. He tells the woman that he sent the League to another Earth on another dimensional plane, but he used the multiverse map math to calculate the slide trajectory, but now he knows those calculations don't line up with anything on the map. Hippolyta thinks that the man killed the team, causing Flash to call up Mr. Terrific for some help. Aquaman meanwhile awakens in the home of a man named Gondor, told to eat some food by the man as the others think that he needs to leave before he gets them killed. Gondor knows that Arthur isn't there to kill them, wanting his wife to ask the man himself since he's up. The woman asks if Arthur's got somewhere to go, as Arthur thanks them for their kindness, planning on leaving, but the man says he found him half dead in Zumbado's no-zone. Arthur doesn't know what that is or what they speak of, making the people think he's from the sky, wanting him gone from their home now. Arthur asks the man if he came with anyone else, citing a man with bat ears, but he learns that he was all by himself. Arthur tells the family about his water-based powers, but he cannot hear the oceans, learning that they aren't anywhere near oceans, but they are in Ohio, so he asks for the nearest natural body of water. Suddenly, the home explodes inwards, signaling the arrival of Brutus or Zumbado or something evil. Superman and Black Adam meanwhile are thrown around the city by Brutus, who knows the other heroes probably want their friends back now that he's broken them. Hawkgirl and Naomi race to catch them despite Batman telling them not to worry about them, wanting to go for Brutus instead. Oliver says that Batman is Bruce's best pal, but Batman knows that he'll bounce. One of Oliver's arrows hits Brutus, electrocuting the villain, but it doesn't do anything to stop him, only finding himself annoyed. Hawkgirl wants to give him a face full of nth metal mace, but Black Canary gets to him first, blasting the villain clear into orbit. The villain comes tumbling down hard as Oliver asks what the hell was that, learning Diana's powers are quite janky on this earth. The people continue to cheer for Brutus as he returns, saying that he has to just get through this team, then he's got a new world all to himself. Hawkgirl attacks, hitting him with her mace as Superman and Black Adam recover, but Superman's powers are being disrupted thanks to the planet somehow. He knows that they need more, and Black Adam wonders if the arriving Aquaman in a tank is enough. Aquaman uses the tank to blast Brutus, firing on him again and again as Kendra continues her assault as well. Black Canary meanwhile helps up Naomi as she asks if the canary has another scream in her, but Dinah knows it's coming soon as Naomi's arms and legs begin to disappear. Batman leaves the battlefield, telling Superman and Adam that they are needed as Brutus rips Arthur's tank apart, throwing it at Kendra before grabbing Naomi and throwing her into orbit, but the hero manages to catch herself in the sky, getting a good look at the destruction around the city. Black Adam joins her in the sky, telling her that his powers aren't fully working either and they must leave. Naomi is upset that this is where she was born, but Adam knows that her parents did her a kindness by sending her away. She tells him about Zumbado and how he did all this and killed her parents in the process, but Adam tells her that they are needed back on the ground as a huge explosion engulfs the ground below. Naomi and Adam race back down to find Hippolyta and Flash have arrived, calling for anyone who wants to challenge her to step forward so she can have their head. Flash zips around telling the team it's time to go as the heroes reunite, while Arthur apologizes to Gondor for ruining his wife's tank. Naomi doesn't want to leave this earth, but Flash warns her that they need to since they are all poisoned, but Green Arrow tells him that they are very well aware as Zumbado himself arrives, telling the team that they cannot leave since he decides who comes and goes, glad Naomi has brought friends with her this time. In the North Atlantic Ocean, Merlin pays a boat captain for taking him into the ocean, telling him this is where he's needed to go. Merlin thanks the man, paying him in a bag of coins as he jumps from the boat, walking across the water to the amazement of the captain. Merlin reassures the captain that while he says God, he's seen God, calling them uninteresting creatures with lack of purpose, and he's just the man destined to do great things. Merlin opens a whirlpool in the ocean and descends into the depths, as in the Library of Babel, Constantine and Jason Blood battle the giant golems, smashing them to pieces with a blessed blade. Jason says that the sword is from an angel, something John isn't too happy to be trifling with, knowing the last time he saw Blood, the spell that tethered him and Etrigan together was undone and he was an old man, wondering how he managed to get out of that one. Jason says that he was in heaven and they only had to ask him back. John thinks that that's a load of bollocks and that he's there because he made a bargain, something John knows all about, but John knows that's no secret. But Jason is full of secrets, secrets which have a way of hurting people, and John finds that he's grown fond of the company he keeps, hoping there is no blowback on Khalid or Bobo or Zatanna. Jason thinks he's being threatened, but John says he'd rather take a demon over him any day, but while he's there he just wanted to offer some friendly advice. Jason decides to offer his own advice, finding it strange that Zatanna seems very fearful about using her magic these days. Bobo meanwhile asks for Zatanna's help, but the woman knows that he has it covered, since she's speed reading the books around them to try and find the one on the man of the book. Ragman collects more souls as Zatanna thinks he's enjoying himself, but but Rory says that it's the suit since it derives power from the hellbound souls, and given the choice, serving the rags is a lot better deal than going to hell. Zatanna can't find anything in the books around her, knowing most appear to be gibberish. The team keep looking and Rory finds a unique book titled Justice League Dark 2021 by Ram V, reading a chapter on the book about how Zatanna was affected by the Upside Down Man, confusing the man greatly. Soon Bobo finds something, having written a word in a book, and instantly another copy appeared, so technically there are two different books, meaning the man of books would need to catalogue them both. Zatanna knows what he means, using her magic to conjure up thousands of copies of the books. The team is suddenly teleported to the man of books, who tells them to stop writing in library books, demanding they explain themselves. John says that they came looking for Merlin and they dealt with his conjurings before they did any real damage to the library, so now the librarian owes them, and John wants to make him a deal, with the man of books telling them what book Merlin took and where to find him, and he will set things back the way they were. The man of books says that Merlin took the Eternity book and he was looking up the works of the cartographer Anaximander, who drew maps of the world lost to time. Bobo finds the works to be referencing works older than Mundy's. John asks what that could mean and what Merlin was looking for, so Bobo knows that he was looking for Atlantis, as Merlin finds the city, knowing it to be the first bastion of magic. He knows it's recently lost its splendor, but wants to try and awaken the city once again.